Oh, yes, you're welcome back to today's broadcast. Let's look into what is happening in the country called Nigeria. In fact, the issue of Nigeria today it is no longer issue of laughing. It's no longer. It is now beyond the expectation of people in the country, and the government they are not doing anything about it. To the extent that some people is now calling for total division, while some people is now calling for the Senate House and for the House of Assembly to come out to protest, for them to protest, and for them to go around the streets. And in fact, in the north now, a lot of things is happening. A lot of things happening. So, according to the headline, it says Nigerian division debate deepens, divide Nigeria, or we go alone. Spark Biafra reaction. So the north they are now calling for division. Some of them they are now calling for division, and they're saying that they need to go. While some of them they are now calling for revolution. In this video, you are going to see it, and you're going to see everything the way everything is happening, because what is really happening in the northern Nigeria and what is happening the whole of the country, it is something that Mazem Kanu told them that Somali will become an heaven compared to what will be happening to Nigeria very soon, and that has been something that has been going on since they caged him. They catched him, they kidnapped him, and sentenced him, and thinking that everything will be okay. But they don't know that the worst is coming, and the worst that has now come. Then everybody is now start thinking what to do about it. Everywhere is now shaking. Some of them is now calling for heavy protests to come on in Nigeria. And this video you are going to see a place where the people that all those people that these bandits buy, in fact a lot is happening. Just watch by yourself and you will see what we are telling you concerning the issue of Nigeria and the expiring of Nigeria. As about to watch, like, subscribe and share for everyone to see things going on in the country.
Babu ruwana da siyasa wallahi. Amma ne abin da ya wari yau wallahi dole a wada mu duniya cewa ƙarya ake yi. Wannan zai fito fili ne in magana ba ɓoye ba. Mai girma.
Hello, Nigerians. My name is Ibrahim Garbawala, popularly known as Comrade IG Wala. It is sad that Nigerians, at this point in time, we have no solutions, not a single solution to our problems. Sincerely speaking, I don't know. This few days, Nigeria has been something else. We all know the situation we're in. No matter how you get frustrated and you think you want to ignore, you can't even ignore. You think you want to just take your eyes or your mind off what is happening in Nigeria, you just can't help it. I think at this point in time, it's high time we tell ourselves nothing but the truth. First and foremost, on daily basis, Nigerians we do manage to see if we can have a little hope. But sincerely, we are totally hopeless. And the state of hopelessness that we're in is something that I think is not just few individuals that will be putting our hopes on. Sincerely speaking, what the country is in, we must all come out, not just be on the streets. We must force those in authority to take the right decision and immediate action. If they cannot do that, we call on National Assembly to compel the president to step down. Else, we are going to compel every single senator. Nigerians, this is a clarion call. No senator in your area should be spared to stay at home. Let them come out and go to National Assembly and do the needful against the president of this country as we speak. Every member of a parliament should leave his house, should leave her house, go straight to National Assembly, take an immediate decision to end this crisis that we're in. We are calling on everybody, not just citizens, poor citizens that the military and the police are deployed to tear gas, to shoot, that are going to take this fight. The senators must go out. National Assembly members, reps members, step out of your house, step out of your comfort zone, go out there. Don't let us go on the streets. You are going to kill, if you cannot kill the bandits, you're going to kill us. This is a clarion call. No any senator, I'm going to do that in Hausa. Jama, enough of this nonsense. Kudu da Arewa, Babu, north, south, all over the country. We don't have a country and we're sitting down. No. Do what they can, the makwabci na senator, ko wane ne, duka su fita, let them get out of their homes. Let them go back to National Assembly. If it takes them sleeping on in National Assembly, let them do that. But they don't have the comfort to stay within the community. We've been allowing this we thought these people care. Now, the Minister of Defense or Ministers of Defense, live everywhere you are. You must move to the streets and do the needful. Enough is enough. We cannot just take this. For God's sake, what is this? Enough of this. Saboda haka muna kira ga duk wani matashi, duk wani dan Najeriya, duk wanda yake ya damu ba mai kishi ba maganan kishi anan. Maganan shine wa yake so ya rayu zuwa gobe. Ba maganan kishi bane. You see, this is what is going on in the country. These same leaders, these same politicians, and the military, you don't care. The politicians are misusing you, misguiding you, misinforming you, and at the same time, you share the little opportunities, the bounties you have, the resources you have. Corruption in any way, you people are, you think you're getting yourselves rich. Now this is it. Look at how this general died. How many generals died as a result of this fight, this war? What is happening? What are you doing? Now the point is this: you've allowed these things to escalate. The Boko Haram of today, that is what is happening. The insurgency in the northeast, it is not that insurgency of Muhammad Yusuf. You should know that it is the recklessness, the carelessness that ended up giving us what we have today. Now it has created opportunity for the same rat-tat elements. Now they have international collaborators. They have moved into our territory. They have actually become in fact, Sambisa is now a global province for all these terrorists. Yes, the same way the Northwest is now another let me say is another hub where every terrorist within the Sahel is now taking comfort or taking refuge. Now the point is this: we must not agree that this same carelessness should continue. These guys are out, these guys are hunting us like rats. Anywhere citizens are, these guys are picking. No, we are not agreeing with this. Is enough. Is enough. Is enough. We are coming on the street, we are calling on no senator. I repeat this because these people in National Assembly are not, look, that National Assembly does not belong to few people. It is for Nigerians. That building is meant, that is the Anglican code of democracy itself. That is where democracy is hinged on. We should not allow anybody to take National Assembly to become their business center where they make money without doing anything. We must chase these people from the comforts of their homes back to National Assembly until they do something. We are saying no to that. This is the angle of protest that I personally am going to pull. Anywhere you see, do in the Akagadan Majalisa. If you see a senator or a rest member, chase him out of that environment.
So just recently, about 2-3 days ago in Benue State, the chairman of Miat Alakoto Cattle Breeders Association, Mark Ban, was killed in Ohimini local government in Benue South Senatorial District. He also allegedly killed his son. You know, because I'm involved in humanity, and just like all human beings, the death of any human being diminishes me. There's a famous line from John Donne, who says the death of any human being at all diminishes me because I'm involved in humanity. And so we find such an extrajudicial killing condemnable. But come to look at it, what is Miyati Allah, whose leader has been killed? I personally know Alhaji Ardu Rikus. I know him. We had a meeting in Yerota, my village, in the primary school there on May 15th, 2020, with the late chairman of Miyati Allah in Nasarawa State, who was also killed, by the way, in Garaku in 2021. You know, that is Ardu Muhammadu Husseini. We had a meeting. I was part of the Benue delegation, which included John Engi, former local government chairman of Guma, my daddy, political leader of here, Avine Boom, you know, Barrister George Usongo, my colleague and my senior brother. We had a meeting, a peace meeting, because that's a Benue State delegation, and they were part of it. They came, including this Rikus, who was killed, and the former chairman of Miyati Allah in Nasarawa State, Ardo Muhammadu Hussein, was killed, including the current chairman of Miyati Allah in Nasarawa State, who is right now in detention regarding the killings in Yerota. That's Ardo Muhammadu Lawal Dano and all those people. We had that meeting, and you know, anytime you have these meetings with these people, they justify all the killings that happen in Benue, and they try to let you know that this and this are what you're going to do to stop it. And all the solutions they are providing are solutions that have to do with the total conquest of your land, taking over of your land, pushing you guys one side and creating room for them. That is a summary of every solution they always try to create. For every meeting you go with these people, they always try to justify the killings of people. So firstly, that's an organization that has always been responsible for the killings of our people. This guy who was killed in Ohimini, he has been the chairman of Miyati Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Benue chapter for so long. I've known him all this while. And like I said earlier, they are a Siamese twins with Miyati Allah Kautahori, whose leader, Bello Badejo, right now is facing terrorism financing at the Federal High Court in Abuja with money laundering, because they do put up all these monies that their guys receive in ransom, put up millions and billions of naira, you know, and send it all over for the buying of arms. And so the United States government, via the United States Congress, designated these two groups rightly, very rightly, as global terrorist organization in their Nigerian Religious Freedom and Accountability Act. You know, putting them side by side with Hamas, with Hezbollah, with Al-Qaeda, with Taliban, with Al-Shabaab, with Houthis, with ISIS, ISWAP, Boko Haram. So, Miyati Allah, why they've been, and I want to tell you, that's the most dangerous terrorist organization in the world. Of course, the Global Index on Terrorism has placed the Fulani terrorists as the fourth most dangerous terrorist organization in the world. So the Benue guy was killed recently. As much as, you know, some of us condemn any form of extrajudicial murder. But the truth of the matter is that there's no killing anywhere in Benue State conducted by the Fulani. Whether it's in Guma, it's in Gwe West, Agatu, Apa, Ohimini, Okboku, Kwande, Makudi, Buruku, Logo, Ukum, Katinala. No killings anywhere in Benue conducted by Fulanis. That these guys are not part of it. That's the Miyati Allah Kautahori and Miyati Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Magban, whose leader was just killed in Benue. So none of these killings happening in Benue, in our own ancestral land, killing of our own people, that they are not part of it, they do not abate it, aid it, they do not have acts accessory to the fact of it, before and after, there's none.
Very, very shocking. You all have seen it, what is going on in the country. Where it gets worse, it is when the man say that Nigeria has no solution anymore. As you can see, Nigeria has no solution anymore to repair. What the politicians are doing is, whenever they get to office, they will secure their own post and they secure everything and start feeding on the poor masses. That is what they do. Then, if you like, you cry from now till tomorrow. It doesn't concern them. And then now they are now planning another means, another way to start attacking the Benue again in the name of that the one that's by the mighty Allah leader. And this group is a group that already designed as the fourth most dangerous terrorist group in the world. But in Nigeria of today, they are still claiming that they are the most peaceful people in the world in Nigeria. And this same country, they are telling you that they are chasing terrorists, they are chasing bandits, they are chasing this. And the government, they know what is going on in the country. In fact, it's a lot. Just watch and see what is really going on in Nigeria.
At this time, all Nigerians need to put pressure on the Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Why has the Commander-in-Chief of the Nigerian Army deliberately refused to decisively define the enemy? Every army knows that if you refuse to decisively define the enemy, you cannot decisively defeat the enemy. We're going to discover that the internal agents who are destroying Nigeria, I'm talking about the moles in the corridors of power, the number of persons destroying Nigeria are not even up to 150. But because we refuse to name names, that's why they are still making noise. The second question they need to ask the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria is this: why is there a doctrine, so-called, when terrorists are captured who have been killing Nigerian army, then all of a sudden you create so-called camps for them, where you claim that I don't even know what you say, you radicalize. I've never heard of this anywhere in the world before. And then to add insults to injury, you now absorb them into the Nigerian army alongside the same soldiers whose friends and comrades have been killed by these people. Is the nation as stupid as that? These things are very painful. If there was no complicity in high places, all these things that we're talking about would not be possible. Is it that 240 million people are so unintelligent that we cannot come together and intelligently establish that the primary responsibility of governance, which is the protection of lives and property, that there seems to be an abdication here?
You mentioned that the people that are behind this insecurity are not up to 150 in Nigeria and that the government is not naming them. But from the way you're talking, it sounds like you know them. How come you are not releasing the list of the names of these people, which Nigerians have a right to know who these people are?
I don't think I even need to speak anymore. My last interview with you, I named the names. From that time onwards, if you look all over
you
the
named
place,
Sheikh Gumi.
Yes.
You named the vice president.
Good.
Well, you're talking about 150.
Well, beyond that, already, if you look into the Nigerian social sphere, many more people have named many others, provided with all the proof that you need. It is no secret. What we're dealing with now, because we're talking solution, you are dealing with something that is a supremacist agenda. It is merciless, it is implacable, and it cannot be negotiated with. Its stated objectives are clear and clean. Osama bin Laden, he was the one who drew the blueprints of how to globalize terrorism. It has infiltrated, as it normally does. It has a head in your judiciary. It infiltrates your education system. It infiltrates governance. It collapses nations from within. What I'm saying now is that if the Commander-in-Chief of Nigeria is going to be, Armed Forces of Nigeria is going to be very open to people. All these people, if you look at all the titles of all their names, they are not hiding the fact that they are jihadi groups. It is not a religious problem. It's a supremacist agenda wearing a religious cover. You would have thought that the government will work to blow the religious cover, but instead, the government has worked to deepen the divisions based on religion. I feel sorry for members of the armed forces. I'm the last person who wants a military coup in Nigeria, especially more so now that the military has been infiltrated by these forces. But what is the point of sending soldiers to die? Now, take away the direct intervention that America made. All these little gains you are talking about, frankly speaking, would not have been happening. Because I've told you that media is a force expander. So they also use media to calm you down. They even have people who pretend to be opposing them, who are actually working for them.
Speaking of America, where are we? I do know that recently they organized an operation that killed the second in command of ISIS. But when will all this be over, as American president promised?
I think we're looking in the wrong direction, and I'm going to tell you why.
We should
Let's
not
go,
look to
let's go
so
beyond politics.
so we should no longer look to America to
I
save us.
think America has done us a great favor already. The greatest problem in this equation right now are Nigerians. When the American intervention came first with the 2 tweets and then the Christmas Day intervention, instead of Nigerians to respond positively to what the intervention that the American government made through Donald Trump, which I must tell you is something that is totally uncharacteristic from the Western world. We need to just thank God and God only for that intervention, because the American government's prior policies. I served as special advisor to current presidents, even the present one. And a lot of people don't know the amount of work that we do on that platform. I want to tell you that American governments before this one were actually actively aiding the process of defeat of Nigeria and its subjugation to this hydra. There's something in the global community known as the pacification of terrorists with territories, the Western world's policy, which nobody will say publicly. We have been traded off. Nigeria was traded off on the table. They believe we are going down. They have enough links with them to create a new balance in the world to keep their own country safe while destabilizing Nigeria. So when Trump came up and did what he did, let me tell you what the Nigerian response was. Nigeria flooded the United States of America with money. To do what? To deny that there was a Christian genocide. Nigeria, that will not take care of its citizens at home, officially, publicly released $10 million to a lobby firm. But from the charter in Washington, Nigeria's money in Washington that has been sent to neutralize what Trump has been doing is almost $150 million. We all know that we have more than enough documentation, more than enough clout to show that there really was a Christian genocide going on. And then later on, as I had mentioned more than 10 years ago, that in the final stages, there's going to be a fighting between Muslims. The ISWAP is the most deadly of all. The Fulani and the Boko Haram is Kanuri. Kanuris and the Fulani don't see eye to eye. Two predators are fighting to be the one to devour the nation. Secondly, all honorable Muslims who refuse to be a part of terrorism end up being killed. The first time was in Kano many years ago. And when this current administration responded by pouring money into Washington, let me tell people right now, a lot of people who have been working hard in Washington, I will mention only one name. There's a young man, Stephen Inada, for instance. I want to tell you that when I sit in consultation groups with a lot of people right now, the money poured in by Nigeria has dampened the enthusiasm in Washington. A lot of people who were speaking up before, who had been informed, who had the information, all of a sudden are also coming down. However, the good news is Frank Wolf, Chris Smith, people like that, Bob Destro, Greg Stanton, this Ann Buwalda, Faith McDonald, these are people who refuse to give up.
So, from what you are saying, is the Nigerian government bribing people that have been speaking up for Nigeria in Washington?
The mantra of the government today is that whatever problem money cannot solve will be solved by more money. So let's not waste our time. We are dealing with a governance structure that we know is irredeemably corrupt already.
Are you also telling us that the U.S. is done interfering with what is happening here?
For the U.S. to do well right now, let me tell you one of the challenges. For the Nigerian patriots who are working in the U.S., it's like a David and Goliath right now. In fact, I would advise anybody who is who is patriotic and those who want to do something about this to find out about a group called the International Committee on Nigeria, ICON. There are many groups like that. I could start naming them. Don't forget that America has a lobby system, and companies like DCI, one of the most popular ones, shameless though, for any American company, the blood of widows, the lives of young men, the raping of young girls, to find that any American company will be making money out of the misery of Africans. Money that will be better spent at home in Nigeria. And if Nigeria doesn't need it, Togo is next door to us, Ghana is there, a few $1 million, we know what it can do. Instead, we are pumping money into a nation that does not need your money, companies that are totally devoid of conscience. These are people who are a betrayal to what America stands upon in its foundation. But the interesting thing is this: men of goodwill in America I can tell you something, I'm amazed to see these people's zeal to make sure that Nigeria is free. However, what am I saying? Nigerians need to stop believing that the future of Nigeria will be determined in America. We need to stop that nonsense thinking. And if we want to do the solution to this thing, the way we need to get the solution done properly, we need to explain the set of Nigerians that need to stand up right now. I told you about church leaders who are talking from both sides of the mouth. I can understand imams who are under pressure, but I cannot understand Christianity's leaders who have sidelined Khan. Let me tell you the truth, which is what is going on. Nigeria has created some pseudo so-called leaders and sent them across to America pretending that they are Christian leaders. And this has been endorsed by Ahabs. And Ahab is a generation of men who know that problems are going to come upon their children. And they are content to enjoy and live today so that their children can die tomorrow. We have Ahabs in church leadership. These are the people who should be crying out loud. A statesman said some years ago, the primary responsibility of government is the protection of lives and property. A government immediately forfeits its moral mandate to lead when that government cannot guarantee internal safety. So based on the doctrine of necessity, we need to look at the younger generations of Nigerians and teach them some lessons right now. There are two sets of people in Nigeria right now. We have the wicked generation, and then we have the digital generations. The first lesson I think Nigerian youths must learn is this. There's this thing that happened in South Korea in 2014. The MV Sewol, a ship, was a maritime disaster. Out of 476 passengers and the crew, 304 people died, including 250 students. The captain of the ship jumped the ship to escape. When the going got tough, the alarm bell sounded, and because they have a culture of obedience, it's like the African culture, the South Korean culture. As the students panicked and they wanted to go to the boats, they wanted to escape and all that, they were given an instruction to go back to their cabins. Because they were obedient, they dutifully went back to their cabins and lost their lives because of that culture that says that elders and gray hair equates with wisdom. Right now, we need to warn the younger generations in Nigeria that there are some people who are trading their tomorrow to enjoy today. So on the doctrine of necessity, it is needful for us to remember that people about 65 and above form less than 3.5% of Nigeria. We need to remember that those under 35 form more than 70% of Nigeria. What am I trying to tell them right now? Let them put on their thinking cap and borrow wisdom. Anthony Nahoro, when he moved the historic motion for self-government in 1953, was 30. M.T. Umbu, a federal minister, was in his 20s. He became Nigeria's High Commissioner in London at age 25. Maitama Sule, if you remember him, became a federal minister before he turned 30. Among the older ones, Obafemi Awolowo became the Premier of Western Region at 45. Yakubu Gowon became the head of state of Nigeria, August 1966, at age 31. Even the declaration of Biafra was done by Dim Ojukwu. He was 33 years old. Murtala Muhammad became the head of state of Nigeria at 36. Obasanjo, who used to talk to us about the leaders of tomorrow, in his own case, was 39 years old. T.Y. Janjuma was chief of army staff, was in his mid-30s. I know that there are some of them who are patriots and some of them who are looking for a good future for Nigeria. But the majority in that generation, we can subsume them as a wicked generation. A political class who, for all its longevity, they will give the lives of younger people. They've weaponized poverty. For all their cunning, for all the so-called pride that they have within Nigeria, they are the most elaborately decorated failures on the African continent. History will be very unkind to them. However, if the younger generation continues to look up to them for solutions, or shall I say look up to us for solutions, they will just waste their lives. Because Nigeria will go under that supremacist agenda, and they're going to realize that men of ill will, men of wickedness, when they gather together globally, they have no respect for human worth. Now, the young Nigerians need to remember NSA's debacle and realize that they are dealing with merciless predators. They are dealing with people with no value whatsoever for the life of the young person. These are the people who came out of independence. So-called independence is a lie. It is interdependence that creates prosperity. Now, that old guard cannot be taught new tricks. Even the one that claims to be the opposition amongst them sometimes is part of the whole charade. The younger generation need to gather themselves together and learn something called direct intervention based on the doctrine of necessity. They also need to read books like Civil Disobedience by Thoreau. They must realize that if they come out together, these people will kill them. These predators will slaughter them. So they have to devise more sophisticated means of being able to protest and demand for righteousness to reign and demand for men of goodwill among their generations to think creatively and take up the mantle like them Enahori did in their days. If the younger generation does not just want to waste its life, certain demands have to be made. The younger people right now should call for regional defense organs. I'm talking about a vote of no confidence in the Federal Republic of Nigeria's ability to protect lives and property, and demand that we must have regional defense structures. I mentioned that about 8 years ago. Go and check my interviews on television in Nigeria.
Oh yes. The situation of the country, there is no any two ways about it apart from division. Even though the regional government, some people is clamoring for, it is what caused the civil war during the Aburi Accord. Then Gowon twisted everything and lie against, and that is what caused the civil war. In fact, the thing that is happening in the country, it is too much. It is too much. The best way it is to let those who want to Islamize themselves to be Islamized themselves, and let those who don't want to be Islamized to be free. The man Lord Lugard who created this problem, is the one, the Britain, the UK. They are the one that create this problem, and today they are not talking about it. Today they are just sitting and milking the whole country and let people keep dying every day, and they are not even talking about it. That is the main thing. And whoever that rise up to challenge the caliphates, to challenge their company, the person will become the enemy. They will start looking at you like somebody that doesn't even need to exist at the first place. Nigeria is beyond repair, according to what the first speaker said. And the best way is to let those who want to repair their own zone to go and repair it. And you, the people who claim that their God is everything, that their God is all and all, that God give them power to buy people everywhere, then they should be together with their God and kill themselves. That is it. Facts, that is it. Something that is going on in the country, it is too much. It is too much. Well, I would like your comment and like, subscribe and share for everyone to see things going on in Nigeria. So thank you for watching.